also nice to see everybody.
Recording.
Okay. We enjoy sharing information with you that we like to talk about, and we also love sharing recipes and food with you that we like to eat. So it's a win-win. So it's all about cookies today. Are we okay if I take my mask off?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be better, yes.
This is probably the first cookie that I'm going to do. You know what, Jimmy, there's papers in the back. You can give everybody maybe one of each. The first cookie I'm going to do.
We've heard about you.
Oh, yeah. He's
No.
he's the tortilla chips guy.
Oh, that's right.
The first cookie I'm going to do is a no-bake cookie, which is nice this time of the year. It's probably my favorite non-chocolate cookie. And it's a carrot cake truffle. So I have a food processor that you use for this. It's a lot of chopping. You can chop by hand.
Yvonne, I'm having some problems hearing. If you just talk a little
okay.
louder. That's
So
all.
I'm going to
Thank
be
you.
using a food processor today. If you don't have one, that's fine. You can chop by hand, use a box grater to do this. That works well too. So the first thing I'm going to put into the food processor are nuts. Typically, walnuts and pecans are used for carrot cakes. So they go into the food processor. And I keep all my nuts in the freezer. Nuts can go rancid, so I recommend refrigerator or freezer, but I keep mine in the freezer. And I just pull out what I need. They don't clump together, so they're fine. You can just scoop out whatever you need. All right, so we have nuts there. Dates. Now, if your dates come from the pantry, that's fine, but my dates are always in the freezer, and I never remember to get them out in time to use them. So that requires me boiling water in my microwave. I have a large glass container. Take it out of the microwave and then put the dates in there for 10 or 15 minutes. If you are going to freeze your dates beforehand, and I keep them in the freezer, hit them before and then freeze them. Okay, so I'm going to call this a wet ingredient. You'll see why, especially since if you had to soak them. So I did not have to soak these because I remembered to take them out yesterday. Yay. So the dates are going to go in there. And this is a cup of Medjool dates that are pitted. So if you do have to soak your dates, what I mentioned about a wet ingredient, make sure they're drained well and patted dry, because this is a batter that does not get baked. So you don't want to end up with a mushy, soft batter or dough, because it's not going to be put into an oven later and have some of the liquid evaporate. Okay, so here we have nuts and we have dates. And the second kind of liquidy ingredient is pineapple. I've used fresh pineapple before, but canned pineapple is fine. My pantry this time only had pineapple rings, but I recommend if you're buying pineapple for this recipe, buy the crushed pineapple. It's a lot easier. Just drain it very well. But if you want to know, 4 rings, I counted it out, 4 rings equals 1/2 cup of crushed pineapple. So that's going in there now. I'm going to process this. So it's almost, yeah, it's pretty well combined. The pineapple will help it stick together.
Linda, you used a mixture of walnuts and pecans.
Yes,
But someone asked, can you just use one type of nut?
I'm sure you could. Absolutely. I never have, but whatever nut you like is fine. And then it's starting to hold together if you can see. Okay. Oh, next goes in 1 cup of coconut. Let's get rid of this. I always get unsweetened. This is pretty finely grated coconut. That goes in. And your 3 spices: cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger. That gets put in. And then the top goes on and we pulse that. And the last component to this is the grated or shredded carrots. And that's the third quote wet ingredient. You may I use long carrots that I just peel, cut off the ends, and then grate. It's fine to get the baby carrots that the stores sell, but they're in a liquid. So if you use those baby carrots that are in a liquid, make sure that you drain them very well. You know, they have like a liquid from the carrots. Make sure you drain them very well and pat them dry before you grate them. Because as I said, you don't want a mushy batter to deal with. So this is pretty clumpy, pretty good to go. So at this point, I remove the batter. So here's the carrot story. Every recipe has a story, right? This is the carrot story. If I was starting from scratch, I would use my food processor has a grater, the 2 types of grater. I would use the fine grater. When I first made these, when I used the fine grater, remember you're dealing with raw carrots. I had very long pieces. And when I added carrots to that mixture, there were like pieces of carrot sticking out. And I'm a little bit fussy how the finished product looks, especially desserts. So my grated carrots, after I removed the batter, I removed the grating implement and I put in my chopping blade and chop them again. So the carrots are like a 2-step process. Mm-hmm. But I learned something today, which is just wonderful. I've never grated carrots before when I made this, so I always needed the 2-step process, grating and then chopping. But the grated carrots that I made yesterday made these softer, which is wonderful. So I'm just going to be able to put them and mix them by hand into the dough. So I eliminated, so that taught me a lesson. I'm always going to pre-grate my carrots and refrigerate them. Then you eliminate having to grate them and then chop them to get them the size you want and to get them softer. So we add this. We'll see how I like it. We're experimenting today. And it gets hand mixed. Into the batter very well. So I'm thinking, I don't know, we'll see how it turns out. The size of the cookies is up to you. You can roll them as large or as small as you want. I always use a cookie scoop. I have 2 sizes, a large and a small. And the last step to this is rolling the truffles into some type of coating. So I have 4 different coatings here. It's a project, right?
I love her.
It's just like a fun project. So I have just nuts, so you can roll the cookies in just nuts. When you're done, I will do that. You can roll them in plain coconut. you can roll them in toasted coconut. And this I just did yesterday. I thought it's festive, it's holidayish time. I would like to color these, the coconut a little bit. So I got out my beet juice. So I eat beets almost every day. So I just had like, Nedra's shaking her head. Seriously, you cannot taste any beets, but it makes a nice color for the cookies. Just
How
like
do you get your coconuts a little?
I-
You chop it?
I bought it that way. I just buy it at the food co-op, unsweetened, always unsweetened.
But not the shredded, then it must be. just
It's pretty
chopped.
finely,
chopped,
yeah,
okay.
it's pretty finely chopped.
What's that
So
white stuff? There's some white stuff in there.
here,
In the red thing. The red thing.
this one,
Yeah.
this is coconut that has a beet
Beets.
juice, a couple drops of beet juice.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just gonna demonstrate. I mean, I have cookies back there for you to take home. I'm just gonna demonstrate. I'll use the little cookie scoop. So, whoops, oh goodness. So you get us, my hand slipped with these gloves on. You get a scoop of cookie, scoop of dough. Makes a nice ball. See the pieces are sticking out, so I'm not a happy camper. But so I'll probably grate it and chop it next time. And then you just roll it. And then after you're done, these do have to be refrigerated. I'll try one more to show you the beets. So they come together pretty quickly, but they definitely need 30 minutes in the fridge. You can eat them now, which will taste fine, but they just come together a little bit better. And we'll do one more. Yeah, I think the rest, you have the recipe here. And basically you're ready to go. We'll do some toasted coconut. Now, if by chance, and this has only happened to me once before, if by chance your dough is a little bit dry and you've petted it dry, the ingredients too much, save some of the pineapple juice from your chopped pineapple, and you can add a few tablespoons in there. So here's what I made these. This is what we're going to be having later. Here's the
I like the red one.
yeah, it adds a little, and you do not taste beets, trust me. You do not taste beets, but once they're plattered, they look very nice. So, and the cookie comes together pretty quickly once you have all your ingredients. On your sheet, do you want me to talk about the two other cookies?
No, let's do mine
Why don't
first,
you do yours?
and then we'll show them all the others. We'll move our rolling.
Okay.
If I just was telling them, I saw West Side Story yesterday, and the camera work was absolutely incredible. I'm trying to I'm trying to replicate the sweeping camera work here. You know what I want you to do? If you could look at the chat, if anybody is posing questions, we will have my daughter Kylie up here just chatting away. Okay, so
Sally, will
Yeah.
it be too distracting if I just finish rolling these
No,
while you talk?
no, I have no distractions.
Pay attention.
I welcome
Sally.
distractions. Okay. Unlike Linda, I'm very imperfect. Okay. And with my cooking. So I am going to show you, I am making one of my favorite, which is these raw, chewy chocolate brownies, which I have to look at the recipe. You'll get them. It is in my book, and I brought a copy from the back of my car because I have to look at them. So what it does, it's just walnuts, dates, cocoa powder, vanilla, and a pinch of salt. I did not bring a pinch of salt, okay, but I don't notice the difference. But here's how I do this. And then you sort of mix everything in a food processor or a blender. The dates, of course, it can get so messy. So this is what I like to do. I buy pressed dates because they're already soft. You don't have to soak them. And I just buy this. This is in Peterland here in Pittsburgh, but you can order them online. And then you approximate. See what I'm saying? It's all approximation. Because the recipe calls for, well, I'll make. So about, this is, and plus, this is also in grams and ounces, which we have to translate. So I always go in my translator here. So about 1/2 cup, of date of this is 5 servings. And it's, so you cut it in fifths, and that equals about 1/2 cup. So I just get a nice knife and cut right through the plastic and everything into about 5 pieces. Should move this out of the way. As I say, it's all approximation when I'm cooking. So that, and then I put it back in and put it in a nice plastic bag, seal it and put it in the refrigerator so I can always just bring it out, but it's very moist and it's so easy to make it that way. So this, if you make the full recipe, it calls for 2 cups of dates. I'm just going to make a half a recipe, and it will be plenty for our studio audience to taste. So I'm going to put in 2 of these, which is equals about a cup of dates. It does get messy though with the hands or the gloves, whatever. And then it calls for equal amount of walnuts. And so I will use a cup of walnuts, and this is I love it. My husband mimics it, but this grinder I got on Amazon, and I was looking at the name of it. I'm finding the box, and I can't wait. Rose, I'll ask my daughter, she has better eyes than I do. But
just for nuts.
you can use it for, I use it for onions. I use it for everything. Vegetables, just everything. You can make a smoothie. They say 20 strokes will make it like a smoothie. Oh, I feel like I'm in a wood shop. And it's like,
That is funny.
look at this.
Pretty quick.
It's incredible.
I'm gonna ask Santa for one.
Ask Santa.
Great for camping. I wonder if Brittany knows about that.
Oh, I hope she pays attention, Brittany. Does it have anything?
Yes, Swiss Pros.
Okay, I'll put it in the email to you all. I will.
Can we put it in the chat?
Oh, sure. That's even better. But so I actually did a pretty good approximation of a cup here.
Swiss Pro. Yeah, SWIZZZ. PROZZZ.
And I use it when I go on vacation. This packs. It doesn't take up, it's lightweight. You can, if you make your smoothie things.
Where you buy that?
I did it on Amazon.
Oh,
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. So what do I do next? Oh, cocoa powder. I go, Brittany is the one that turned me on to this Santa Barbara. So I buy their chips and the cocoa powder, and it is more expensive, but it lasts forever. So I always have a lot because I eat chocolate every day. Day doesn't pass without chocolate. course, this isn't opening. It's something it does, it just. Okay, so we want a half cup of that.
We've taken this cookie that Sally makes to the Expo Mart
Oh,
and
yeah.
some other place. And the people that are there, for the most part, are tried and true vegans, vegetarians. They seem to circle, they come and taste it. We see them come back again and they say, that's really good. So it really is a good tasting.
And. Okay. And we get it's 1.5 teaspoons vanilla. And I do get the pure vanilla without, I pay the extra.
It's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, so I don't know if it's worth it. It's gotten so expensive.
Right.
How much
I
about?
actually process vanilla beans myself.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leave it to- leave it to
Use half
Susan.
as much.
Okay. Now here comes the fun part. Or not. It's just, oh, and keep some water handy because I oftentimes find that you need some water, which I don't have handy. I tell you to keep some water handy, but I don't. I just drank all my water when I ate.
Sally, I have my water bottle here.
That would be wonderful. Uh-huh.
Where'd you put it in? How much do you want?
Oh, you know what?
Like a
How about if you
tablespoon?
put it some in here and then I'll just, it definitely needs water, yeah. So the recipe calls for it just to be patted in a square pan and put in the freezer. You can freeze it if you want a raw brownie. Especially if you want to take the extra time, and especially if you want individual portions, is like when we do food demos at the Vegan Expo or any of our other cooking things, we we roll them in balls, which just went on the floor, roll them in balls and put them in little papers, and you can roll them in coconut, which I just brought some coconut too, kind of makes them festive. I didn't get the idea of putting beet juice too. Think what other natural colors could we do besides beets so that
I made pink
blueberry.
icing for my granddaughter's birthday using beet juice.
Ah.
It's healthy and
Blueberries, pomegranates.
yeah,
We
got
have
this.
blueberries, yeah. Raspberries,
Cherries?
cherry
How about
juice.
spinach? You cook The water from cooking spinach.
Oh, yeah.
Green.
I wonder how that would. I like it too, because I got to say, the ones I'm going to show you, I keep them in the freezer. I like frozen treats because when I'm starting to get a headache, like I was, or blood sugar, I grab like I just did. You were asking me, and headache. I need this as a quick cold chocolate dates. It's really good.
There's a question in the chat, would matcha tint it green?
Matcha tea.
Yeah,
Probably.
sure. I don't know. Try it and let me know. I do need more water. This is
More water?
yeah. Water. Maybe I should put more dates in. Who knows? It's especially dry here. Oh, that might be too much, but oh well.
And you have more dates.
Then I can add more walnut, probably I would do.
I do have some extra walnuts or some pecans and walnuts.
Already,
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
Good exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said in the chat that they've used matcha before and it works.
Oh, wow. It is good to know. You could use beet and matcha. You could have your Christmas.
Someone else in the chat said that they imagine using orange or mint extract would make these cookies a nice chocolate
Oh,
orange
yeah.
or chocolate mint chocolate.
Yeah, yes, I like that too. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to put the coconut in this bowl. Thank you. Just spill it in there. So, and I'm going to roll the,
Let me know when to stop.
oh, yeah, do it all. I have a whole bunch. Okay, I'll leave some without coconut so toasters don't want it. And so we will roll it.
Pretty.
Pretty. Yes. And they last a long time in the freezer. They really do. It's very easy to freeze. And I have even refrozen them when they have extra that people don't eat for some reason. I want to make sure that, yeah. But it is more time consuming to do the balls as opposed to just putting them in a pan. Any questions as I roll and roll and roll?
You know, we use peppermint, like these peppermint canes, you can crush them in. Peppermint is candy canes, Christmas candy canes.
If you wanted to add some extra sugar and, yeah, extra sugar and artificial. If you want artificial green, sure. Particular, yeah.
The goal basically is to eat food that is very, very slightly processed, not overly processed. So artificial coloring wouldn't be a good idea for us. And excess sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
Yeah, the dates are natural sugar, it's got fiber in it.
Oh, dates are very, yeah, they have
But
lots of
just
nutrition.
regular granulated sugar is probably, you want to keep that to a minimum if possible.
Yeah.
Where did you buy your pressed party squish dates?
I went to Peterland.
At
Out
the
in
actual store?
yeah, oh wait, Peterland is in Brookline, it's in
Yeah.
South Hills.
Yeah.
And it is an actual store. They have a lot of bulk foods. They have spinach pies that they do use oil in their spinach pies, but it's, they have, delicious baba ganoush. So yes, it is. But I did see where you could buy it online. If you just Google it, press dates, they have it. This seems to be a common brand right here, Mideastern. Most Mideastern stores will have some kind of pressed dates. It's just, it does make it very nice for all these date recipes to have it that way.
Does it go bad? How long does it keep?
I just keep them in the refrigerator and
Forever.
yeah, a long time, okay? And if they somehow, if they get air in it, they start getting hard, then just put some water,
When you're still rolling, do you want me to just?
Yes, so while I'm still rolling. We're doing lots of rolling today. Kylie's gonna roll over there, the camera will be
That's funny.
rolling.
So I'm not demonstrating anymore, but there's two other recipes that I just briefly wanted to update you on that are going to be, Jimmy's passing some out, but they're part of the PDF file that you'll be, the 8 pages that Sally put together. Terrific. It's your holiday present from us. Sally did a tremendous job. And don't ask her how many times she had to redo my recipes because Linda, baking directions, whoops, I forgot the 350 degrees.
You weren't
Linda-
the only one, believe me.
So Sally's to be commended. That's your holiday present. So fudgy cake like brownies. This was originally a Vitamix recipe, but I kind of changed it. You know, it's like I never met a recipe that I didn't change. But it's great. You throw everything into the blender. It's really fudgy. Jimmy loves them. They're fudgy as the recipe calls for.
Good.
But I like my brownies a little more cake-like, so I threw in a half a cup of whole wheat flour. And taste is almost identical, but it's a little, you know, it's just a little subtle nuance that I like. So those are very good. They come out very, and they're back, we'll be having them back there to share. The top is a little bit different because we had chocolate granola bites that we ate and we finished, but there was about a cup of crumbs in the bottom of the bag, and I didn't want to throw them out. So I popped the brownies in the oven for half the time, which is 15 minutes at 350, pulled them out, sprinkled them with the chocolate granola bite crumbs, patted them down, and then baked them for the rest of the 15 minutes. So they look a little different. You can add mini chocolate chips to them. You can drizzle melted chocolate on them after they come out, but it's a good recipe. They freeze well, they travel well. It's yummy. People like them. The other one recipe that I want to tell you about is the raspberry bars. Now, when you first look at it, you get scared.
I got scared. I know.
But don't be scared. It's a no-bake cookie, and I've made it a few times now, and it goes together. There's 3 layers, and you can see on your sheet, the first layer is the crust. The second layer is the cashews. The original recipe called for 2 tablespoons of oil, but I've eliminated oil, and applesauce works extremely well. Maple syrup, lemon juice. The crust goes into the freezer, you bring it back out, and when the second layer is done, you put that on top of the first layer, that goes into the freezer, you make the third layer, you bring everything out from the freezer. I mean, really, it's not terrible. And then you put the third layer on top. For the third layer, which is the raspberry, you do need to use agar. So you're wondering what agar is. Agar is the vegetarian or vegan answer to gelatin. Gelatin is made, and it's totally up to you. You can use gelatin, but gelatin is made from animal parts and collagen. And if you don't want to use gelatin, agar is your answer. So I got this at the Asian food store in Monroeville. I'm sure you can get it online. It is dried red algae seaweed, and it works extremely well. If it works just like gelatin, it takes a little more heating time than gelatin does, but maybe 30 more seconds, temperature wise. And I tried subbing. I made this same dish once using cornstarch. Can't do it. You need the agar. So, and you may think, well, I'm not going to get the agar because I'll never use it again. But I was looking through my recipes, and I have friends that are moving a little bit towards vegetarian, towards vegan, and they're always teasing me about tofu, always. So I said, Mark, I'm going to make you a tofu cheesecake. So I found a good recipe from T. Colin Campbell. I haven't made it yet, but I'm going to do it this weekend because it's my birthday, and on your birthday, you get to do whatever you want. So I'm making a cheesecake tonight or tomorrow. And it needed agar in it. So there's 2 recipes already that you can use agar with. So,
And it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a big deal.
I think this packet was like $6. So, and I'll use it up. But these turn out really well. And there's 3 layers. We'll be putting them back there to share. They have to go in the freezer for a couple hours after you do the 3 layers. Put them in the freezer, and then I would keep them in the fridge till you serve them, and they're good served cold. And it's just something a little different. So, and that's it.
So, yes. How do you freeze nuts and dates? I just freeze them right in the bag, the plastic bag, and they stay for a very long
For
time.
months and months.
Months, yeah, right.
One quick thing, I found this at Target. They're having a line Good and Gather of healthier ingredients and products. This is date and nut bars apple pie, just 6 ingredients, and that's all there are. dates, almonds, dried apples, walnuts, raisins, and cinnamon powder.
Wow.
So it's nice to stick a couple of those in your purse, if you want to snack later and you go to Target and get it. Our box is empty.
I ate the last one before we came.
I think they have a couple other kinds too, but
Aldi has similar, just like dates and whatever.
yeah, that's great. You
Yeah.
could give them in kids' lunches or whatever. So that's all I've got.
Okay,
good?
yes. And someone asked, can we share the cheesecake? Yes, I'll share that. And
Yes, I'll
someone
let you
said,
know because I'll make it tonight or tomorrow.
okay. And someone said that Brenda Davis has a wonderful triple chocolate salted caramel cheesecake. Oh, that sounds so decadent. With Whole Foods, it's on her website. So I will put that also in the email to everyone. And does anybody else, Susan, these people online here, there are 40 people online and they'll be getting the PDF with all these recipes. Did you want to show your? And I don't know, no, okay. Anybody else? Like, okay. Yes, any other questions here? What was the brand of the bars you bought at Target?
Good and Gather. It's Target's own brand.
Yeah.
Good and Gather.
That's really good. That, I mean,
Apple
and
pie, simply delicious.
yeah,
Sally looked at the label and she gave it.
I gave it a thumbs up. Absolutely.
Lara bars are pretty good too.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're probably a less expensive than Lara bars are. I bet you.
And if
Yeah.
you need an extra cookie for your cookie tray, you take one of these bars and cut it into thirds, and you can platter those as a little addition to your cookie tray.
You know what I did once for pie crust? I took a Lara bar and crumpled it up. And I've also crumpled it up on top of, I have this mango, Chef AJ has a mango pudding. And I took the, I know, pumpkin pie Lara bar, you crumple on top. It's very good. Very good. Trader Joe's also has a nice date and peanut bar called These Peanuts Go on a Date Bar.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Okay, and Linda, I mean, Susan is going to show you what recipe that you'll get her recipe for pumpkin.
This is called pumpkin spice oatmeal cookies, and the only ingredient that's left out is chocolate chips. And if anybody knows me, they know I put chocolate chips in everything. But this recipe actually came with chocolate chips. So it's just a cookie that you mix together very quickly and use a small scoop. You can use a tablespoon, but I've got various sizes of the cookie scoops. And this is the small scoop. And the baking time is, I did 13 minutes on this. So it's quite simple. And I think I counted this time. The recipe says it's good for 20 cookies. And with a small scoop, I got 39. So
Wow.
either I'm under scooping or the recipe was using a much larger scoop.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
great.
there we go.
And I see Stan has another vegan cheesecake and I'll send that to everybody. He put it in the chat. So I'll make sure that that goes into the email that you'll get. Well, either tonight or tomorrow, that you can start your holiday cookies if you haven't already. Okay, so I am going to conclude these online portion here. And I thank you to the virtual people who are joining us. We do, thank you, Jan, keep it up. Okay. This has been fun. It really has. You are so welcome. Thank you.